On today's show, the Dallas Mavericks did it. They did it. They got a number one again. Cooper Flagg is that guy. How do they find a co-star for him? We'll tell you today's Locked On Mavs.
This is Cooper Flagg, and you're listening to Locked On Mavs.
I think that's a good question.
Good morning, Isaac. All these changes, I still got my dog, Dwight Powell.
Your daily Dallas Mavericks podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Still can't leave.
Your team every day.
I'm going to get a city like that.
And welcome. You are locked on to the Dallas Mavericks, your team every day. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member covering the Mavs for over 10 years. Thanks for being in every day or making Locked On Mavs your first listen to Making Locked On Podcast Network, the number one sports podcast network out there. Joining me, as always, my co-host, media member covering the Mavs for over 10 years. Right alongside me, the co-star student, the one more thinking. What you got for me, Isaac Harris?
I'm ready for some Mavs basketball to be back. It's been too long of a break. We need it
3
back.
days.
I don't care. We need it back. Thursday night, Detroit. Cade Cunningham.
Let's go. Today's episode, we're going to get into some of your questions that you asked. A really great one about how do we find Flagg's co-star. We'll probably talk about an ideal lineup around Cooper Flagg. Which of these co-stars could be available next? We may hit some other ones along the way. But the first thing I want to start with you, Isaac.
Kyrie's robot video?
You live in DFW.
I do, yes.
How would you use a golf cart?
Me personally,
Yes.
I have no way of using it. I mean, I guess I could drive it around like the neighborhood.
Kyrie gifted all the Mavericks a golf cart, souped up with LED lights, speakers, all kinds of great stuff. Leather seats. They look awesome. Flagg was enjoying it a lot. Okay, he said they're going to be all shipped to your house. A golf cart gets shipped to Musa Cisse's house. The two-way guy making like $500,000. He's probably, I don't know if he has a house or if he's living in an apartment.
It's probably a condo, yeah.
Probably a condo or an apartment. It gets shipped to his house. Where is he keeping it, and what is he doing with it?
Yeah, I don't know what Cisse's doing with the golf cart, especially for the guys that, not everybody gets a house, because they could up and go anywhere in a trade. So, how
do you ship that across the country if you get traded?
There's probably something in the next tax bracket up from us or a couple.
Just the one above us, right? Just above.
Just the one of, there's probably some like storage options at some like cool like golf places or golf courses that they can like store it there. I don't know. Golf is too expensive for me.
I thought that was
but
funny.
It looked cool. The robots were fascinating.
Yeah. Okay. So now here's the other thing is that there was also robots on the premises. What did they say? Why they showed up today?
That was a gift from Elon.
Have we examined these robots? Have we checked to see? Anyway, Kyrie pushed one down and it died.
I was waiting for like the joke, or I was waiting for it to do like a back handspring or something, and it never got up.
Fake die and then stand back up, and then
I was like, what kind of iRobot? He just went Will Smith on that thing, and I was like, oh my gosh.
It's great. It's great, dude. Dude, it's great. It's great. It's great, broski. Bro, name it. It's great.
There you go. That's the content we've been getting from the Mavericks. But
they're ready for basketball too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's start here. The Mavs did it. They got their number one. Cooper Flagg is that good. I'm ready to say that. Like 26 games into his NBA career, he's 18 years old, doing things that no 18-year-old has ever done. He's looking like every bit of the star that the Mavs hoped he would be. He's got some rough edges to file out, but I think those will be things that he'll obviously work through and be better at. I think his three-point shot, conditioning, different things like that. His NBA body. He's an 18-year-old. The next step is to find out who his co-star is. And his co-star, not just for this season, next season, because that'll probably be Kyrie when he comes back. Anthony Davis right now will be will be the number one right now. And then, but what I'm talking about when Cooper Flagg steps into his role as the number one on the team, who is going to be his co-star? Who are the Mavericks building with? Because you look at some of these teams that have won championships recently, Tatum and Brown won one for the Boston Celtics. They both were drafted in consecutive years by the Boston Celtics. That was, a stroke of luck that happened with them. But you look at some of the other ones, SGA, Jalen Williams and Chet were both drafted they're drafted in the same draft by the Thunder. And so you look at those guys and say, all right, well, those guys were able to be drafted by their team. You look at even the top team in the East right now, Cade Cunningham with Jalen Duren, who has now stepped into his role as like the next star. He's his kind of running mate at this point in his career. They drafted him pretty high in the draft.
Too, yeah.
You look at what the Spurs are doing right now, and they've got Fox, who they traded for, but then they got Dylan Harper is number 2 in the draft. Stephon Castle. I think any of those 3 guys could really blossom into becoming the co-star with Victor Wembanyama. And so you look at all those examples and you go, all right, well, how are the Mavericks going to acquire their next star? And so I got some ways. I started to go through this, and I was like, all right, how do they get that next star?
So wait, are we just going to go ahead and cross off Caleb Martin?
The Mavs could get the top pick in the 2026 NBA draft. And so many people are skipping back, be like, did he answer the question or not? No, he didn't answer the question. They're just like double tapping, like, did he?
It's like, what?
The 2026 draft, if the Mavs get a top 3 pick, I think it's almost automatic. All right, they found the guy between Darren Peterson, AJ DeBonsa, and Cam Boozer. You're big into the draft. You're already looking at some of these guys. You want the Mavs to tank because you think these guys are that valuable. If the Mavs get a top 3 pick, they've answered this question. Correct.
Yeah, especially top 2. I mean, I think Peterson and DeBonsa are just like next level type of stars in the league. I think Boozer's going to be really, really good too. But I think there's a chance, and this is probably blasphemy for some people, there's a chance that Peterson or DeBonsa is better than Cooper, and to where I don't think that with Boozer. So if we're just answering straight up, like, hey, who's the if you could have any running mate right now, it would be like, man, in a perfect world, you could get Darren Peterson or DeBonsa. Like, let's just say Peterson, who's a guard, and kind of like him, and like you get a decade plus with Darren Peterson and Cooper Flagg. That's scary.
That's it. That's the Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown path, right? Like you got both those guys that ended up being all-star, all-NBA type players. Eastern Conference Finals MVP type guys. Like, you got those guys, and then they got a decade. They've gotten a decade of those guys. So you answer the question if you get those guys for sure. The other path in the draft, the Mavs could do whether they tank or not. There has been this phenomenon over the last 10 years or so. I went through the last 10 years of drafts, starting with 2022 and back, because I don't think we have enough information about 2023, 2024, 2025 yet. But at least once a draft, teams have hit on a guy that's like, they becomes a guy, like it becomes an all-star, all-NBA type guy in the, let's say 11 to 16 and beyond range. And the Mavs pick is probably going to be around there if they end up sticking with what they're doing. They keep Anthony Davis, Kyrie comes back. Like, they're probably going to stay in that range right now. Here are the guys that teams hit on in that range in the draft, which I just find fascinating. 12th pick in 2022, Jalen Williams. 13th pick in 2022, Jalen Duren. 16th pick in 2021, Alfred Şengün. 21st pick in 2020, Tyrese Maxey. 12th pick in 2020, Tyrese Halliburton. 11th pick in 2018, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, MVP. 33rd pick in 2018 was
JB.
Jalen Brunson. 13th pick in 2017, Donovan Mitchell. 14th pick in 2017, Bam Adebayo. 27th pick in 2016, Pascal Siakam. 11th pick in 2016, Sabonis. 13th pick in 2016, Devin Booker. So a couple of those seasons, there's 2, but there has been at least one all-NBA type guy in each one of these drafts. So the Mavs do have a chance if their pick stays where it is, but it is a small chance. Like, it is a very small chance that you nail it. It's basically like a lottery chance.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, are you going to be that team? And it's also, we're also talking about if you can be like a star. Like,
right.
There's a lot of role players or high quality role players that you can find through there too. But when we're talking about, you only get a certain amount of chances to swing to find that co-star. When the Mavs did that to get Kristaps Porzingis for Luka, we were talking early on. It's like, all right, at some point they're going to swing to bring in the next, the second guy, the Robin next to Luka. And they decided to do that earlier probably than what a lot of people thought of, like, hey, we'll swing for the KP trade. I still remember where I was at driving when the KB trade went down. It's like, oh crap, they're going for it now. They're swinging for the guy.
I remember where I was driving when the Nerlens Noel trade happened. Is that the same?
No. No.
I think I was on 30.
What if times does a complete circle? I was driving to a doctor's appointment for our first kid.
Oh yeah. Right.
When the KP trade happens.
I remember this.
Our due date for our third kid is at the end of January. So like 2 weeks before the trade deadline. What if we get a big trade around then?
Apologies to Isaac's wife.
She knows. She knows if AD gets traded while she's in labor, then get another epidural. Push that thing back up in there. Wait.
Coming up, the draft is not the only way the Mavs can get a co-star for Cooper Flagg. There are other ways. We're going to go through the ones the Mavs should take a chance on coming up. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by Robinhood. Nobody knows your money goals better than you. Robinhood puts you in control of your money with tools that work as hard as you do. Locking in on every opening, beating your PR, beating it again. Channel that drive into your money. Robinhood puts you in control. You can trade stocks, ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all in one platform. You can now build and execute your own trades from a desktop with Robinhood's Legends advanced tools, or take advantage of the new Robinhood strategies with a tailored portfolio managed by a team of experts. You expect more from yourself, so expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, Robinhood.com/yourmoney. It's your money, your move. Also brought to you by Gusto. Let's be real. No one starts a business for the joy of calculating tax withholdings. And if you do, all the power to you. But there's probably other things about this job and about owning your own business that you don't want to do. It's called the job tax for a reason, right? That's where Gusto comes in to take the stress out of payroll, benefits, HR, those kind of things, so you can focus on running your business and supporting a team. Gusto is an all-in-one remote-friendly payroll and HR platform that helps making and managing your team simple, transparent, and fast. Whether you're hiring, onboarding, or paying employees, Gusto helps you do it all from one place without the hassle or hidden fees and things like that. You got unlimited payroll runs for one monthly price, which means no surprise charges at the end of the month, which is what we all want. We don't want surprise charges. Don't surprise me. Just tell me you're going to charge. That's it. Try Gusto today at gusto.com/LockedOnNBA. You get 3 months free when you run your first payroll. Gusto, Gusto. That's right. 3 months of free payroll. Gusto.com/LockedOnNBA. One more time. Gusto.com/LockedOnNBA.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
Thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs, being part of the show, part of what we call the Raccoon Squad. That's our listeners who listen every single day. If you're part of the Raccoon Squad, consider joining the text line group. You can get texts and alerts from all kinds of Mavericks things, rumors. Any rumor that we see, we'll text straight to you. You also get access to the Locked On Mavs Discord. It's like a Slack or a Teams community of Mavericks fans. We have all kinds of conversations in there. Got all kinds of fun things.
I've been having fun with that. So
we've been having a lot of fun going in there. And so you get access to that through the text line. Also through the Everydayers Club. With the Everydayers Club, that's different from the text line. You get access to ad-free shows. So if you don't like what I just read, you can do it. You can subscribe and get an ad-free episode of this, as well as access to the Discord and all kinds of other stuff with the Everydayers. So links in the description or the QR code for different ways to subscribe to either of those to get Locked On Mavs in a different way. All right, Isaac, we're answering questions from the text line. Two people actually sent this question into the text line. So what are the ideal trade candidates, not necessarily realistic ones, that you would get towards a rebuild? Another one was a dream list of players the Mavericks could target in the future to play with Cooper Flagg. So I kind of smashed those ones together. And I was like, all right, how do we find this? And I think the draft is the number one option, which is what we talked about first.
Yeah.
The 2026 pick, if they land in the top 3 or definitely in the top 2, they've got that guy. If they get between 11 and 16 or so, that's odds are that there will be one player in that group that ends up being an all-NBA type guy. The Mavs just got to get super lucky and get that guy. There are trade opportunities though. And I'm going to go through some players, and you just tell me if this player is qualified to be Cooper Flagg's running mate, because I think the player also has to be good enough that we bet on this player to be that good next to Cooper Flagg. Because it can't just be, all right, we got a solid role player. Like Max Christie has been awesome, but I don't think we're saying that he's the star next to Cooper Flagg.
Yeah.
Going forward.
And you took age into account too, probably like, hey, I'm not going to say, Jokic. And
that'd be great, but yeah, I'm talking about young players that the Mavs could pair next to Cooper Flagg, and all of a sudden we've got a situation where it's like Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, or
you got like a duo that you're building around.
Got a duo. I think these guys are all qualified but not available.
Okay. Throw them at me.
Stop me if you disagree with any of them.
Wait, I'm stopping you if I think that they're available or if they're not a star.
Yeah, either one.
All right, sweet.
Victor Wembanyama. You stop me on the Victor Wembanyama. Victor Wembanyama, Chet Holmgren, Alperen Sengun, Tyrese Maxey, Cade Cunningham, Anthony Edwards, Scotty Barnes, Jalen Williams, Evan Mobley.
God bless. Calm down.
How long have you been doing this show with me? You know that's how fast I was going to read the list.
Sam again. I'm trying to process which ones, if it's the same ones on my list.
Victor Wembanyama, Chet Holmgren, Alperen Sengun, Tyrese Maxey, Cade Cunningham, Alperen Sengun, Unique New York, Scotty Barnes, Jalen Williams, Evan Mobley.
Are we sure about Scotty Barnes?
I'm not sure about Scotty Barnes, but he's made an all-star team. So
yeah, I know he's having a good year.
I think he'd be a good running mate. I don't think they have a number one. I think Ingram is kind of trying to fill that spot for them, and their team is good. So
here's my thing with finding okay. So if we're looking at finding a running mate next to Cooper, the cool thing about Cooper is he can fit in anything. So there is a slight archetype that I'm like doubling down on. That would be just a little clunky for me. Is the tweener 4 who can't really like shoot threes very well. And that's the only ones that I'm like a little bit like, ooh, like Cooper's good enough to still make it work, but I'm not like going out, because when I look at the archetypes of like players, it's like you have Cooper and then I want one of the guards to be like a dynamic creator.
Yeah.
And so like you're going to have that and like a Kyrie Irving. I need one of those guards, one of those wing spots alongside of him to be a point of attack defender, because I don't want Cooper being that point of attack defender and just the wear and tear of that. And then the other spot on the wing next to him, I want it to be a 3-and-D guy. If we're talking about just ideal perfect world, a 3-and-D guy, like a PJ Washington. Like I think PJ's great alongside Cooper. And then for me, I would love an anchor type of like center alongside Cooper. That allows, we've talked about this before, like if you have a center, an anchor type of center, a Dereck Lively type.
Oh, man.
I actually put him on my list because he's like, I'm like 21, you're everything, baby. It allows Cooper, to play off that weak side, a center field type of role. But Scotty Barnes, I'm kind of, that one. And
that's the one. But he's not, I don't think he's available. So it's like,
no, he's not available. And I mean, I think a lot of people are higher on Chet than I am, like his like future.
As like a star.
Yeah.
You know who's not high on Chet?
Who?
Victor Wembanyama. Not high on Chet. Not high on Chet. Does not have a high opinion.
Yeah.
The one I didn't mention that's like an all-star young guy, because I think like there's this like crazy world where he becomes maybe available, and this is a conversation we may have in the future, is Paolo Banchero.
Yeah, he's that archetype I was talking about.
And he's the archetype that you literally brought up, where it's like, can't really shoot threes, but he's a big 4. Like, I think they can make it work, but it would be another Franz Paolo situation where you go, I don't know if these guys can play at the highest level together. So that's a weird one that we may end up having to debate a little bit longer if that becomes a thing.
Yeah.
I've got names.
Is Brunson too old for you?
Yeah, but and he's also not available. I think I did 25 as my cutoff.
Anthony Edwards too old for you?
He's 24. He's like the same age as some rookies.
I know. Well, I'm just throwing his name out there because I wouldn't
Anthony
be shocked
Edwards
in the next.
He was on the list
In the next 2 years that we're hearing ant grumblings. I wouldn't be shocked.
Well, that would be one that I would be definitely down for. That's one you trade the farm for.
Anthony Edwards and Cooper Flagg. My God, that'd be awesome.
What do you think Anthony Edwards would do with a golf cart?
Have fun with it.
Players that I know for sure are available. Would you bet on any of these guys?
To be a star, like a star running mate type of guy.
And one of these guys is older than the other guys, but I know he's available, so I just threw him in there.
Okay.
LaMelo Ball.
How big is this list for this this category?
It's 5 players.
All right, just give me the 5.
LaMelo Ball, John Morant, Zion Williamson, Darius Garland, Trae Young.
Oof. How old's Trae?
He's like Luka's age, but I threw him in there because I know he's available.
Yeah, I mean, this group is tough. I think I did one more thing of Ja versus LaMelo. I think out of all those guys, I feel like most people would take Darius Garland. He's just never dang healthy, and I know LaMelo's not healthy either.
Garland doesn't seem like he's healthy. Here's Garland's missed games over his career. 16, okay. 7, 25 last year, 13, 14, 28, 18, 6. It's not like he's like missing 30, 40, 50 games. I was surprised because I thought the exact same thing as you, and I went back and looked through and was like, he's actually not missed as many games as we thought because he just felt like he was injured with that toe so long last year. Yeah,
so I mean, I guess I would take Garland. Although like he's another type of player. I think he's like super talented and skilled, but I'm like, I've never been as high on him as like some people. I just don't want anywhere near the Zion Williamson business.
No. Younger Anthony Davis.
I think Trey could work in Dallas, but he's not like who I'm targeting to be like, oh, that's who I want the running mate to be with Cooper. Ja, I'm not all the way out on Ja, but it's so sad that I feel like I would swing on LaMelo over Ja. There's a weird path that I'm like Jason Kidd with LaMelo and like the LaMelo like size at point guard with Cooper, and he's never played with like a guy like Cooper in a different setting.
Okay, but Jason Kidd has looked at D'Angelo Russell and has said no, thank you, on a team that has no point guards.
Okay, I had 5 seconds where I veered off path for a second.
He's back. I got him back on track.
I'm all out. All right.
Coming up, I've got players that are not stars yet, but the Mavs could bet on them early and they turn into stars. And Isaac will tell me,
I got a couple. Yeah,
Isaac will tell me which ones we'll bet on. We'll talk about that and more. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by Rocket Money. You ever feel like your money just disappears at the end of the month? Sometimes even the beginning of the month or the middle of the month. Doesn't matter when of the month, but it just disappears. It happens fast. Few subscriptions here and impulse buy here or there. Suddenly the numbers in your bank account don't match the numbers that were in your head or the ones that you thought you saw before. Rocket Money helps you get clarity, track every dollar, and stay in control of your finances because managing your money shouldn't feel like a second job. You shouldn't have to do the crazy thing that I do and just go through a spreadsheet and just like mark every single thing that you buy. Money does the heavy lifting. Rocket Money does the heavy lifting for you so you can save more and stress less. Rocket Money finds subscriptions you forgot about that you were paying for and helps you clean them up quickly. I've done this where they can cancel subscription. They've even lowered some of my subscription for me when I've done Rocket Money in the past. Seeing all your spending on one dashboard makes it easier to understand where your money is going. I like that they automatically build budgets based on past spending. And so that's cool too with Rocket Money. Take control of your finances and cancel your unwanted subscriptions with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/lockedon today. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon. rocketmoney.com/lockedon.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
All right, Isaac. We're answering your questions, and by your questions, I mean classic Locked On Mavs fashion. We took a mailbag and we answered one question.
That's what we do.
That's what we do here. People are always like, how can I get my question on the show? It's like, we only do like one episode.
We might get to it next month.
Sorry. But this one, we're talking about how can the Mavs get Cooper Flagg's co-star? The draft is obviously an option. There are some star players, I think, that are out there that are probably not available, but if they did become available, the Mavs would jump at the opportunity, and the players I just mentioned. There are some, like, damaged goods assets players that are available that we just went through.
You just went through those guys.
That are hard to try and say, all right, let's go for it. Let's take a chance on LaMelo, Zion, Darius Garland, potentially. I've got a list of players, young players, that are not full stars, but could potentially become them, that could take a little while. Like SGA wasn't SGA in his first 2-3 years. Tell me if you think that this is going to be a star, or like that you would bet on this player, or if you would not.
Cam Spencer. No.
Pat Spencer.
No Spencers.
Ahmed Thompson. Would you bet on him?
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Okay, you would bet on him.
Yeah.
Stephon Castle.
Oh yeah, I love him.
Would bet on him. Yeah. Khalil Ware from the Heat, the center.
Yes, but
to be a star, I'm putting it high. Like this player could eventually.
I think he can be good. Yeah,
make an all-star team.
I'm also not in the biggest camp of like I'm not trying to go seek out a big. to be the second star. I want that second piece to be a ball handler, a creator, another guy on the wing like a Jaylen Brown or a guard.
You look at the last couple championship teams, and you're like, unless that big is Nikola Jokic, literally.
Yeah. But I like Ware a lot, and I actually put him down on my list. I think he has the potential, unlike a lot of other like young people.
Another big that's making a run right now, Jalen Duren.
No.
You wouldn't bet on him.
I think he's really no. Yeah, I think he's really good. I don't know if I'm like looking at him saying that like that's gonna be my second star.
He has been so good this season.
So good, yeah.
I don't know if all the stuff he's doing is sustainable. Is my thing. I'm wondering like March, April, going into the playoffs, if like are we still seeing Jalen Duren facing up and trying to drive at the basket and trying to take guys off the dribble? Is that what we're still seeing?
I think we could see a little bit of Detroit looking like Houston a little bit last year. Not really that, where it's just like it's so Cade dependent that I think unless Ivy comes on, I think we could get into. And honestly, like I know that Stein has said that they're like out of the like or not as into the AD business, but I think that would be like one of their selling points from Detroit is like, hey, when everything slows down and teams start to double Cade, like we got to have another option out there, kind of like pre-Kyrie for Luka. And it's like, all right, it can't just be all Luka. You got to have a running mate that can create and set up some offense. But anyway, keep going.
Alex Sarr, from the Wizards.
No, I'm not betting on that.
I'm not betting.
Better season, but he's still too raw. It's still too early for me to bet on anything with him.
The Wizards, it's better ingredients, it's better pizza, but it's still Papa John's. Like it's still the Wizards.
Yeah.
You guys can try. Keyshawn George of the Wizards, same thing. He had that really good game against the Mavericks where you're like, oh, that guy's going to be a star. And then he just never, I don't think he showed it again since.
I liked him at Miami, but no.
Modest Buzelis of the Bulls.
No, not a star, but fun. I think he'll be good. I like him.
Case and Wallace of the Thunder.
That's my guy. Let's do this. That's the number one person I had on my list.
You would bet on him to be a star.
I would. I want him. I think he would be awesome alongside Cooper Flagg. And I think he fits that type of mold of like somebody who's kind of like in the shadows a little bit because of all the other people there. He's such a good defender. He's your point of attack guy. He can shoot the three. I liked him out of Kentucky, but
I wouldn't bet on it because I'm talking about you. Okay, so you have Cooper.
You
Flagg.
just named to me Buzelis and Alex Sarr.
I wouldn't bet on them either. You named Cooper Flagg as your number one.
Okay.
Then you have Case and Wallace, and then everybody else on the team is not as good as Case and Wallace, and you think you can be a championship team.
Okay, well, if you put it like that,
that's the way I'm putting it because we're trying to find the second star next to him.
I think he. Yeah,
he'd be an excellent. He'd be an incredible like third guy, like what Derek White was for the Celtics, where he was like clearly the third best player on that team.
Okay,
you could win a title, but I don't think he can be your second. That's what we're talking.
He's like the new Drew Holiday,
and Drew Holiday was also on that team.
Yeah, but Drew was like you could argue. Well, no, because I remember some people are like, "Oh, it's Middleton's title team with Milwaukee." So I'm like, you could argue that Holiday was the second best player alongside Giannis, but
you could
keep going.
Last two were Shaden Sharp and Zach Edey.
No, stop. No,
not anywhere close. I mean, those are the young players. The last group is rookies. Who would you bet on with the rookies so far? Con Knipple?
Yeah, I mean, really, really good. I don't know about like. I need to watch it. This one's gonna be a little harder for me because I mean the sample size is so small. I need to see it like in the NBA more. I've only gotten a handful of Knipple games, so I'm not. The Hornets is not my every week.
We all only get a couple Knipples, so
just two. But I like him a lot. I don't know if he's like star.
Derek Queen.
No.
Derek Queen is so fun. He looks like he's gonna be so good. I don't know how you make a championship defense around him. And we probably would have said that about Jokic, but that's
well, I think Şengün's gonna be his test case. Like, I think that's gonna be the test case with it. But I'll say this, obviously he made it work at Montford. They won a ton of games, but it's not the NBA. But like you look at kind of like what they're doing in Houston, and Cooper's the type of like 4 that you could get away with having a Şengün, a Derek Queen type of, if you had, some of the other positions, if you had a point of attack guy, you had Cooper, you had PJ on the wing as the 3s and the 4s, to where you kind of allow Şengün to be that, kind of like what they're building in Houston. I mean, Amen's they're like point at times, but you can't hit the ocean with a beach ball. So it's like you have KD and some of those things. So but I wouldn't be like betting the mortgage on Derek Queen as my second star.
Hitting the ocean with a beach ball is hard sometimes, actually.
Well, it depends on where you stand
and where the wind is blowing. Dylan Harper.
Yeah, I love Dylan Harper. He's
BJ
really
Edgecombe.
Second star? No, I mean I only saw 2 people in the draft for me. It was Harper and Cooper, and as like stars.
Jeremiah Fears, Cedric Cowan.
No.
Interesting. It's hard to find a second star. It's hard. There's only so many players that are good enough in the league at any given point, and you have to come up with a way to acquire one of those players.
Trey Murphy too old for you?
Isn't he 20? He's like 25, right?
Yeah, I think so.
He's good. I don't know that he's second star on a title team though.
Yeah, some of those names you listed earlier about like just not available. I'm like, obviously Cade would be awesome. Tyrese Maxey would be awesome.
Yeah.
I really want to see what happens in Cleveland after this year.
Right.
You think Mobley's the guy that they just hold on to forever, but I think Mobley would be great with Cooper Flagg. But yeah, I started thinking about just different players that I like alongside. That's not like technically like star stuff. Like I think Keon Ellis would be great alongside Cooper Flagg.
Solid, yeah.
I said Jalen Wells, but okay. There's one name though. I know we're just basically talking to me and you ourselves at this point. There is one name.
Comment if you're still listening on YouTube or the Discord or the text line.
That I like this guy, and I think he has small star potential, and it's Andrew Nembhard.
His brother has been doing pretty good. His
have you heard of him? He plays for the Mavs.
Oh.
It would be cool. They could have 2 golf carts in the family. Andrew Nembhard, I think, is really dang good. And
yeah,
I think he has, I think he has some stuff that kind of like, who would you rather have moving forward, Cason Wallace or Andrew Nembhard? Because those are 2 players that's like the 2 players I've highlighted the most of like, I could see a world in the next 2 years that they're on a different team. And
well, you also have to remember, we would not have put Brunson on this team, on this list in his first 2-3 years in the NBA.
Well, he wasn't that good.
That's what I'm saying. Is he wasn't even as good as Nembhard or Cason Wallace. And so there will be some players that just come out of nowhere, and that's where you can get somebody.
You didn't even list Keontae George.
I didn't.
Okay, going back to like the tweener 4 thing. I know we're pushing time, but like
you gotta say the thing.
One more thing. I was trying to think of other stars out there that's not even like as young that I would be like, don't love the fit. And I was like, Siakam, Larry Markkinen, like Cooper can make it work, but I wouldn't say like Siakam and Cooper seems odd to me, but I could be reading into it too much.
Yeah, it's like, do you want 2 of those?
Yeah. Just anyway. They got Cooper, so that's the number one thing. And luckily, you don't have the pressure to find that second guy like right now. Like you have a handful of years, and then you just can't squander an opportunity to possibly get one.
That's the thing. They have some time, but not a lot of assets between now and then. So you got to figure out how to do it, how to recoup some assets. Because it takes bites at the apple to get a guy like this, to try and find that. And it takes scouting, and it takes the whole organization working together. It takes a GM.
Just any GM.
It takes a GM. We'll have more for you. Well, I'll do another episode later today, so come back and listen wherever you're listening, watching on this feed. We have the Everydayers Club. We have the text line, different ways that you can subscribe and follow the show. Thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs.
Yup.